Hello, friends. Coming to you live from nowhere. I want to talk to you about shame. Mood swings, shame. Bad boy, bad girl. This is going to be deep. So buckle in or flee, whichever suits you. Moods and shame. All humans are going to have shame. They're going to have the what have I done? What can I do about what I have done? Something that I'd really like to point out. The complexity of everything is against you. You were born and you will die. And in the midst of all of that, there's your brain. If you are experiencing a shameful feeling or something that goes back consciously or subconsciously, and that's maybe in the way of going forward or getting over a hurdle in life. There's a gal at the gas station, at the petrol station down the street that I go to get my drinkage. She goes 7 days a week. And she moonlights to another place. And she'll go back and forth. And she's very tired all the time. She's maybe about 28, 29. Possibly one of the nicest people I've ever met. And she won't lie. And I've gone through a couple things with her where she'll with lying and whatever, and she won't lie. And she's always shows up and she's so tired. I'll ask her how she's doing and she'll tell me very little. She'll almost tell me nothing. And I want to say to myself that she's a very nice person, that she's a sweetheart and everything else. And she's not opening up at all. She won't open up. So she's moonlighting, and months go by. And I'm saying to myself, well, there's going to be something that will come around on that. And no, she's still doing it. And tonight I went in and she was, I could see the veins coming out on the temple of her head, and her skin complexion is almost blue. And here's a person that's so compulsive to keep up with her 7 days. And I say to her, so the weather's getting nice out. She recognizes that. I said, well, you gonna get your beach towel out? You gonna do something here when the weather's getting nice? She says, no. I have to do my 7 days. Well, when I was a teenager, I hooked up with a family who had a restaurant, and their son, he had to do his 7 days a week. And he had to do this, he had to do that. And he's around 14 years older than I am. And I watched him for years. And would come around and visit and say hi. And he was always having to do this, having to do that. I equate this to shame. I equate this to no love for oneself at all. You know, if you're going to do 7 days a week for years and years and years and beat the hell out of yourself, and this gal said that she wouldn't even be able to take a beach towel down to a lake where it's no cost to go. And sit on the beach and watch rich people drive their boats around and have a good time. Maybe drink some tea or whatever it is that you bring with you. She won't even allow herself to do that. So all the good months that will go by, all the summer months, all the nice weather, which in my opinion is June, will go by, and she'll be sitting in that place 7 days a week, and wherever else she goes 7 days a week. And I said to her, I said, hey, take a day. Pay for that day. Take a day. And she looked at me as if I was some kind of foreign thinking weirdo. And that's compulsivity, and that's shame. The hell that a human being has in their mind that can be any sort of shame tied into compulsivity is a little bit of a hindering situation. All these there's too much garbage that makes you think that you have to be a certain way. There's too much of it. You can get on TV, you can get on the radio, you can get on CDs, you can get it on media galore. You can get it from friends, you can get it from family, you can get it from strangers, you can get it from anyone. Everyone's going to let you know the way it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be this way. Shame has a lot to do with this. If you look at older civilizations, supposedly, or so said, where shame is even extreme. Eastern countries, Middle East, Persian Gulf countries, where the women are ordered to wear coverings that cover their face, cover their body, cover everything. And if anything happens, they get stoned to death by the town. So your jury shows up to basically stone you. So there's shame. Created. So you have shame. So a woman or a man that does something that they had watched someone be stoned with has now shame. Or someone that read something about what they are to do or not to do, they have shame. And then there's the human being that's born to be what they are going to be, and that is conflict of interest. Shame has to do with conflict of interest. So mood swing people, such as ourselves, we're not unhuman. We're still human. And the neighbor next door that has it all, that was led to think that they have it all, might look down on someone. They might look up to some people. And shame is somewhere in the middle there. And that's in your head. If you are going through some moods that maybe have you cutting yourself or having you in a despair, you've dropped off, you're in your own place, there's nothing to be found, there's nothing more, it's a dead end. There's more than depression. There's a place of absolute annihilation of oneself, where you start to make thoughts inside your head where it's not going forward. So you're saying to yourself, this is a dead end. This is a period where I'm done for. That's depression, and shame has to do with this depression. And this is experience. This is self-evident. This is not something that can be ignored. This isn't something that can be pushed under the rug. This is actually something that could possibly have to do with trauma, a traumatic situation. It could have something to do with simply what you were, the brain that you were born with. The kind of meandering in my mind that other people are going to prey on. So they're going to amplify that for you. And they're going to let you know that you are this or you are that. Ultimately, you're flesh and blood the same as them. Ultimately, you're alive the same as them. You're being put into place. If you do not recognize that, you will be put into place. My heart hurts for the gal at the gas station. My heart hurts for her. There's not much I can say to her that can pull her out of her shame, out of her compulsivity, whatever it is, whatever is eating her alive. There's not much that I can say to her that can interfere with that compulsivity. And compulsivity is very important in that shame and compulsivity are hand in hand in a way. If you were not as compulsive as someone else, you wouldn't have as much shame. Shame and compulsivity are entwined with each other. And I say, if you have anything in this life, it's being able or doing, sensing, recognizing, realizing, identifying. I'm going to put that word up at the top. Identifying or discerning, identifying. Why is this? Why is that? And that's a question for yourself. So when other people are saying, why this, why that? Well, they have their own thing that they're wanting to dig into. For yourself, you wake up, you say to yourself, why this, why that? When you can identify something in your life or at all in life, then that's a stone that you can place there on your foundation where you understand. And once you can understand, then you are uplifting yourself. We have taboos, we have predators, we have aggressive people, we have malicious people, we have compassionate people, we have all of these different types of people that mingle in between each other. And I tell you, think about shame and think about the placing of shame in your lap. And then you're the human, and then you're going to be living with what's been put in your lap unless you just shove it off of your lap and you say, fuck you. Because the sun will come up, and then it'll go down, and then the moon will go over the sky, and you'll go to sleep, and you'll wake up, and then you'll go to sleep, and then you'll wake up. And every single time that happens, there's these things in between that have to do with humanity, that have to do with correlating with each other. And a lot of that is really nothing when you are by yourself. And when you're by yourself, you can ask yourself, what is the essence of myself? What is this shame? What is this pulling at me? And this is my opinion, that this has a lot to do with the mood swings. This has a lot to do with the trauma that people talk about. Because there's some indifferentiating between being born and this being a traumatic situation. Somewhere in the middle, somewhere in between, it's mixing together. And this is only really something that can be pinpointed by an individual or a conversation. It can be something that's observed. It could be something that's manufactured. produced. Still, when you wake up and you go to sleep, and you wake up when you go to sleep, you know what you know. And how is that being influenced by outside forces? How are you being manipulated? How are you being deceived? Shame is a part of mood swings. However deep-rooted it is, so what do you do with it? Do you fight it? Do you ride it? Do you carry it? Do you pass it on to someone else? I say fuck it, is what I say. That's a powerful weapon right there. Fuck it. You know, if you have that sword and that shield, if you have the heart for it, one of the worst things about mortality is waking up the next day. If you have mood swings, at least I can say for myself, it's that when you've come out of your sleepiness, and then you're getting to that point where you're saying, okay, well, I need to get up. That's one of the shittiest parts of the entire day. Going to sleep is shitty too, because I'm saying to myself, okay, well, there's going to be a whole night of horrible dreams and whatever else for myself. Shame has to do with all of this, and that's subjective. Possibly something that can be analyzed. Probably not. Humans are born to be what they will be. They're put in their place, and they'll die as they are. They'll be used, and they'll be thrown away or expended. On some days, though, with the mood swings, there's times when you're closer to when you were a kid, with the serotonin feelings and the feelings of happiness. Is really the only way I can describe it right now. And all the senses that have to do with smells and vision, feeling, your skin feel, if you're sitting in grass, how grass feels underneath you, everything is so vibrant when you're younger, and you can feel that. Even if you're doomed to depression after you've reached puberty, or if you had it even before, more or less, which I will bring up. When I was a young kid, there was ups and downs. Absolutely. I have times where I was crying to my mother, and I remember this vividly. We were at the top of our stairs in our house, and I remember crying to her, telling her that something was not right. And she was coddling me and telling me, well, what's the matter? What's the matter? I was crying. So something's not right. Something doesn't feel good. If only I knew the exact day that was, or the exact age that I was at that time, that I could maybe have some grip. This was before puberty. There was nothing that my mother could do for me other than coddle me and listen to me, which she did. Are you shaming what you've done or what you are? What you were born to be? If you're doing either one, there's a parallel there between the both. They're hand in hand. If your mind recalls certain events in your life, or certain things in your life where you're saying to yourself, why did I do that? Why did I do that? And once you realize that it had to do with mood swings, then it's all kind of crystal clear. Am I going to be sorry for that? Am I going to hate myself for those things that I did when I was a younger person, before I could realize or recognize why I did those things? So these things are harnessed emotionally. These things are harnessed inside of your brain. So I'm saying, think about that. Consider that. Just don't be so hard on yourself. Easier said than done. And I really do. I need a mallet to hit myself in the head with every day to get that to go through it, because of this shameful thoughts. You have so many days in life. Your brain is taking something away from you if you're sitting in a gas station 7 days a week, or moonlighting, excuse me, and you're not even going to allow yourself to go out and have a beach day during the summer. Something has chains around you. And I'd point it at shame. Because I know obsession, I know compulsivity, and I know shame. And it all can get so worse. Of course, yeah. And someone else has it so worse, and so someone else has it this, and someone else has it. Yeah, well, what does that have to do with you? And what does that have to do with you today, and how you take it on? Napoleon says hi. You gonna say hi? He's singing. Baby, baby. Are you singing? Are you singing a song? Yeah. All right. Love and peace. Good night.